So my recording system has been shot for the past couple of days, and it kind of still is. I have a really hard time trying to record my simulation videos for my other previous channels. So I would really appreciate it if my recording system would start working, especially since the draft is coming up soon. And of course, you guys know I'm going to be the first of those videos if my recording system doesn't just collapse on me. Who knows? This entire video could just be scrapped in the future. But for right now, a lot of my commenters, well, specifically a select few, have been spamming me to do a rebuild of the Minnesota Vikings, but also trying to revive Sam Darnold's career on the Minnesota Vikings, despite them getting 2 first-round picks to probably trade up for a QB in the draft. So we're just going to completely ignore that, and then we're just going to rebuild the team around Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a 6 starting lineup with Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. A solid offensive line here, specifically on the offensive tackles. Defensively, it's not so hot though. They got Jonathan Grenard, who is a very underrated piece. Same with Andrew Van Ginkel, but they're not really long-term pieces, especially since Andrew Van Ginkel is 29 years old. And then Jonathan Grenard is 27, so he's about to start Madden regression in the next season. For the rest of the defense, Ivan Pace, he's actually really underrated. Same thing with Blake Cashman in real life. It seems like this defense is just all really underrated. Harrison Smith is really old, so he'll probably retire in Madden simulation. And then also our free safety, Cameron Bynum. If I mispronounced that, I'm sorry, but it's fine. Byron Murphy Jr., Shaquille Griffin. And then also Lewis Seen, like this dude, I'm pretty sure he got his first tackle this season. Yes, he was in year number 2 of his career, and he just now got his first tackle. He was injured the entire first year of his career. I don't want to sound negative, but it's like he's done nothing but be injured his entire career so far. So as of right now, he seems like a bust, and honestly, I'm just going to start Cameron over him. But for right now, it's an 84 overall team. Let's revive Sam Darnold's career with the Minnesota Vikings. We probably won't be able to, because sometimes Madden just sets certain players just to be bad in simulation for no reason. Like Tua and Kyler Murray are awful in Madden simulation. They can be a 99 overall, and they would just suck for no reason. But anyways, let's move into the draft with 2 first-round picks. At pick number 11, instead of trading up for a QB, picking up defensive tackle Byron Murphy out of Texas, 6'1", 310, very athletic, very balanced athleticism across the board, especially for being a defensive tackle. 76 speed and 85 acceleration is actually really nice, but only 82 strength. Hit in dev, A tackle, A finesse moves, B power moves, B player, I can B awareness. He's going to be great. In the second round, getting a new left guard here. Well, actually not the second round. It's the end of the first round because we have 2 first-round picks out of Kansas State, 6'3", 335, hit in dev, 82 strength. Not very athletic, but has a lot of A's in his skills, so he looks great. And then in the 4th round, because we traded away our 2nd round pick to the Texans and our next year's 2nd round pick to the Texans as well. But evidently, I guess the Vikings don't have a 3rd round pick either this year. Maybe Madden has that wrong. But either way, in the 4th round, wide receiver Javon Baker out of UCF, 6'1", 208, only 89 speed, 92 acceleration, but still for a 4th round pick. Hit in dev is nice to see, and a bunch of A's across the board looks good. Now, this is the team after the draft. Looks like the AI picked up this guy named Allen, so looks like we have a lot of depth here for Sam Darnold to succeed, getting Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the NFL, Javon Baker, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, a nice offensive line, and a nice running back duo here. So Sam Darnold has all the pieces he needs, and he also is in the Dallas offensive playbook scheme, which is obviously the most overpowered in the game. And defensively, Byron Murphy, I'm immediately going to make the starter over Harrison Phillips just because I want him to develop, or maybe even get defensive rookie of the year. That would be sick. So with the defense, there's a lot of older players that I got to replace, but for right now, it's not horrible. Javon Baker, I want him playing in the slot. Allen, I want him getting more reps than Chandler. Byron Murphy is starting over Harrison Phillips, Shaquille Griffin in the slot. Then Ivan Pace, I'm going to start over Blake Cashman just because of his youth. He's only 1 overall lower anyway, so it won't really matter that much. But anyways, apart from that, year number 1 was Sam Darnold in the Minnesota Vikings. Let's move into the midseason mark. 6-1 at top of the division at the midseason mark. Our offense is balling. Our defensive rushing game isn't doing too great with Byron Murphy Jr., but hey, 6-1, top of the division with Sam Darnold. I'll definitely take that. For the scouting national focus, I do think I want to do defensive back here. And for the players ready to negotiate, we have $95 million to spend. Team does not have franchise QB. I mean, that could change after this here, Justin Jefferson. I don't know why you want a mentor considering you're probably the best in the league. I don't really know how that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, you're a 99. How much more do you really need to progress? Team has a franchise QB. That could change at the end of the year if we remain 6-1, well, top of the division throughout the entirety of the year. Byron Murphy Jr., he doesn't like the scheme fit. I'm not changing it because we're winning games. He resigns on an extensive contract. Cameron Bynum, my bad, not Byram. Bynum. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I'm going to do a 3-year contract with him. He's about to start regression, but he's not going to be a crazy safety for us, but this definitely isn't a bad contract as he resigns for 3 years. Harrison Phillips, he is 28, but I'll do a 1-year contract with him. $11 million a year is kind of expensive, but he doesn't want to accept right now, so I guess he's going to regress. Sam Darnold, I mean, he's the entire point of this rebuild. He just doesn't want to be here at all. Why does he's like so picky? He's like, I want to be in a warm weather state. Dog, you're lucky that you're even starting. How about that? I guess I'm just going to have to overpay for Sam Darnold for him to stay here, and especially if he gets a dev up, that would be huge for his contract. But for right now, only $20 million a year for a QB. That's fine with me, and he resigns for the entirety of the rebuild because, of course, it's all about him. Trent Sheffield Sr., I don't want him, and I don't want anyone else here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Lewis Sr., I don't even think I'm going to accept that option. But it's Justin Jefferson. I'm going to get to you at the end of the year. Hopefully, we do have a franchise QB by then. We're 6-1, but for now, let's move into the playoffs. 15-2 with Sam Darnold. I didn't think this would actually be going so well with a 75 overall, 27-year-old normal dev quarterback coming off a Week 18 win against Will Levis and the Titans, 28-25. First round bye with Sam Darnold and the Vikings. The only thing that's in the yellow for us is our defensive line, which is honestly, that's fine with me. But our defense being top 5, our offense being top 2 is nuts. Stats and awards, Sam Darnold. He's a top 10 QB now. His career has been revived after 1 year. 7th in offense, 5th in defense. 4,000 yards, 39 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 111 pass rating. I'm sorry, Vikings fans. This will not happen in real life, but in Madden, at least we're having a good time. He's literally profiled as a bridge QB, but hopefully he gets the franchise QB tag so that way Justin Jefferson has a cheaper contract. Aaron Jones has a great season, 1,600 yards, 5.0 per carry, 21 touchdowns is great. Sam Darnold with another 3 rushing touchdowns is sick as well. Justin Jefferson, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. He would have more than this in real life, but still an amazing season with TJ Hockenson having 12 touchdowns, 900 yards. Javon Baker, 900 yards, 10 touchdowns. Jordan Addison having a underwhelming season. I'm pretty sure I just accidentally slipped up and said Addison. I meant Jordan Addison, obviously, but this is a pretty weak season from Jordan Addison. Ivan Pace Jr. with 137 tackles for a loss, 22 for Byron Murphy. I meant to say Byron Murphy. I said Byron Murphy. Dude, I'm stuttering so bad. I haven't recorded a video in a minute, but anyways, Byron Murphy, the second, with 11.5 sacks, 22 tackles for a loss. Amazing rookie of the year. That definitely should be defensive rookie of the year. Andrew Van Ginkel with 18 tackles for a loss, 11 sacks is great as well. Jonathan Grenard, 6.5 sacks and 11 tackles for a loss. A solid season from him. Interceptions 4 for Cameron Bynum. Again, I swear I'm pronouncing that wrong and someone's going to grill me for it in the comments. But defensive touchdowns, 1 for Byron Murphy. Who will we be playing in the divisional round with our first round bye? I don't know if Sam Darnold has ever won a playoff game before, maybe on a bench. I don't know, but we're going to lose here because it's the Dallas Cowboys and they're just gods in simulations for absolutely no reason. Yeah. 42-21. Who would have guessed? Let's move into the offseason. Yeah, so all that hope by the Vikings fans thinking Sam Darnold's going to be good just to get eliminated in his first playoff game as a starter here, just washed straight down the toilet just because the AI said so. But anyways, Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl MVP. Jalen Hurts wins the league MVP, but he also loses the Super Bowl. Kevin O'Connell wins the Coach of the Year, unfortunately just to be a first-round bye. Drake May wins Rookie of the Year with the Broncos. Okay, interesting trade up. And then Byron Murphy Jr. wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, which is huge for his development. In the NFC North, nobody retires. For the team upgrades, Sam Darnold does get star dev. That's awesome for his development, but he only gets 1 XP after having that kind of a season is kind of stupid. Allen has superstar dev. Javon Baker comes with star dev. And then my left guard comes with star dev. TJ Hockenson gets X Factor. And also Aaron Jones gets X Factor as well. Defensively, Byron Murphy has superstar X Factor through the upgrade. He got to superstar X Factor. I guess he was a superstar before, so that's sick for him. Sick for our defensive line. Andrew Van Ginkel gets superstar X Factor. Ivan Pace Jr. gets superstar dev. Jones gets star dev. Really, really nice upgrades for the future development of this team, and I think it actually has a bright future with how well Sam Darnold played in his first year. Hopefully he can continue to progress like that in Madden, but for now, let's move into the re-signings. For the players ready to negotiate, I don't understand why Justin Jefferson doesn't think he has a franchise QB. I mean, technically, he hasn't won a playoff game, so I'm finna pay Justin Jefferson $42 million a year. It's not like I can let him walk. I mean, should I tag him? I think I'm gonna finesse this, actually. So let me give him this contract that he won't accept, And then do I pay him $42 million a year? I only pay him $28 million a year if I tag him. And then also this gives Sam Darnold another year to potentially get the franchise QB tag, which will then lower Justin Jefferson's contract. So I'm just going to tag him for now. Harrison Phillips, I'm going to give him the exact same offer as before. And he just doesn't want to sign, even though he's not even worth $11 million a year. Lewis Cine, I'm probably not even going to re-sign. Patrick Jones is already 26, and he's definitely not even going to, he's not even going to get close to like probably even a 75 overall. But for now, let's move in to the free agency. After free agency, I got DJ Reed as a defensive back on a 2-year contract, Jake Elliott and Ryan Stonehouse for special teams, special plays, special players, then Harrison Phillips on a 1-year deal back with the team again for defensive tackle, of course, just as a filler Band-Aid player. In the first round, I'm picking up defensive back Harvey Middleton out of LSU. I think I'm actually going to move him back to strong safety because he is a zone archetype. I mean, he's not really strong, but he is pretty fast for a safety. I mean, he's moderate speed for a defensive back. So I think I'm going to move him back to strong safety over Harrison Smith, A catching, B press, A zone coverage. Not crazy hit power from what I've seen. Hit power is actually B, so that's actually not bad. It's just being under 200 pounds isn't crazy, but still I need to replace Harrison Smith because he's already down to an 82 overall. Now this is the team moving into year number 2. It's a great offense, honestly. Sam Darnold, I mean, he stepped up last year, but Aaron Jones is regressing despite him being an X factor. He's down to an 84 after starting as an 86, which sucks. Byron Murphy is already an 83 overall. Middleton, I'm going to move him to strong safety. He's not the biggest guy, but at the same time, Harrison Smith, again, is regressing, so I'm just going to keep him there. Can I move Harrison Smith to linebacker? How big is he? 6'2", 211? I mean, if it was like 230 or something, I could put him at linebacker. Actually, I mean, second string strong safety isn't a bad position in Madden. I'm pretty sure they still do get rotations and reps along with the rest of the defense. So I'm going to leave Harrison Smith at the number 2. Hopefully Middleton, I mean, already a 77 as a rookie is great. So hopefully he can get defensive rookie of the year. Got this guy Towns in the later round. Let's actually just start him just in case he might do something. And that was actually in the 3rd round that I got him. I didn't have a 2nd round pick because of course we traded away to the Texans. And then everyone else here looks pretty good. Hopefully we do better this season. The offense looks the same. Byron Murphy's an X factor now. We got new DevOps and we got a new strong safety. Not really a huge change in the team, so hopefully we can go back-to-back in getting first-round buys, but actually beat the Cowboys in the divisional round. So for right now, let's move into the midseason mark. We're not 6-1 top of the division, but we are 4-2, still claiming the top of the division, so I'll take it. Our offensive rushing game is now 31st in the league, but our defensive rushing game has improved to number 6 in the league, so I like that a lot. Scouting national focus, I think I'm just going to do middle linebacker here, so that way I can have some pass coverage guys. For the players ready to negotiate, I have $147 million to spend, and again, I'm just going to wait on Justin Jefferson's contract, just hopefully getting the franchise QB tag for Sam Darnold. But Christian Darrisaw, I have to pay this dude $30 million a year? That's outrageous. What offensive tackle gets paid $30 million a year? Does Trent Williams get paid that much? Crazy, dude. He's a 93 overall, but I need him and I have the money to afford him, so he's going to resign on that contract. Ivan Pace, of course, I want you back around $8 million, $9 million a year. Your superstar dad, 24 years old, my starting middle linebacker, and he resigns on that. Andrew Van Ginkel, he has superstar X Factor. I want him back here, but I'll do a 2-year deal so that way I can figure out what to do with his contract if he does just age out to regression. But for now, he resigns. Aaron Jones, he's an 85 overall. $6 million isn't bad for another year. I'll actually sign this since I do have the money to keep him. So he's going to sign for another year. Jonathan Grenard just doesn't want to be here. I don't really know if I want to pay him. He was a solid piece for us that year, but it was nothing like revolutionary. Lewis Cine's just a bust. Harrison Phillips, he wants $16 million a year. No, I'm good. Blake Cashman, how much do you want? Around $5 million. I mean, this isn't bad despite him regressing. I'll increase the bonus and the salary a little bit more. And he wants even more money, which I don't know about. Garrett Bradbury, I'll just replace him in the draft. It's not that hard to get new centers in the 2nd or 3rd round. And then I also need a new right guard, apparently, because he doesn't want to be here. He wants to be historic champs. Maybe that changes this year, but if it doesn't, I'll probably just re-sign him because he's 76, and that's not bad for an offensive guard. Harrison Smith, I know he wants to be here, but I don't know if I want him to be here. It depends how his contract is and how far he regresses by the end of the year. And then Jordan Addison, I'll accept that option when I get a chance. But for now, team looks good. Let's move into the playoffs. Going from 4-2 to 9-8, but hey, if we win the division, we win the division. The Bears absolutely are atrocious. I guess they didn't pick a QB. I'm sure the AI just passed on it and was like, Dallas Turner. It seemed the AI does that a lot in my simulations. But anyways, Packers 7-10, Lions 8-9, Sam Darnold, Vikings take the division, baby. Coming off another loss to the Cowboys. Wow, who would have guessed? For the stats and awards, Sam Darnold 2nd in passing yards. He's a baller. 5th best offense in the NFL, 14th best defense all of a sudden, 4,700 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 receptions, 106 pass rating. Not as good as last year, but still a great season. Way more passing yards, but less passing touchdowns and more interceptions is not really the best thing. Aaron Jones, 12 touchdowns, 4.0 per carry, 1,100 yards. This is a significant drop off from previous season, going from 5.0 per carry, 1,600 yards, and I believe he had 16 touchdowns as well, and Sam Darnold having less rushing touchdowns. Come on, man. But anyways, it's not bad. Receiving wise, Jefferson doing better than last season other than touchdowns with 107 receptions, 1,500 yards, only 8 touchdowns. I believe last season he had 14. Javon Baker, 6 touchdowns, 1,000-yard season. Jordan Addison, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. I'm glad he showed up. Then TJ Hawkinson, 7 touchdowns, 700 yards. Defensively, Ivan Pace, 132 tackles for a loss, 17 for Harrison Phillips, sacks, 14.5 for Andrew Van Ginkel. He's balling. Jonathan Grenard, I'm going to have to resign him after getting 12 sacks. That should be worth superstar dev. Byron Murphy gets, I'm so convinced to call him Byron Murphy Jr. because we have Byron Murphy Jr. as a defensive back, and he's Byron Murphy II, which is technically junior. So we have 2 Byron Murphy Jr.'s on our team, and it's pretty confusing for me, but still, he got 10.5 sacks, interceptions, 2 for Harvey Middleton, this rookie strong safety, so that could be defensive rookie of the year, which would be awesome. 0 safeties on the team and 0 defensive touchdowns. Can Sam Darnold here get his first ever playoff win? I believe maybe he has one in real life, I don't know about, but let's see if he does against the Commanders, and he does, 19-14. We're going to lose here against the San Francisco 49ers, because, you know, they're the Niners, and it's simulation. Yeah, who would have guessed? Yeah, anyways, yeah, our offensive rushing game finished 30th, and our defense just sloped at the end of the year, but once again, another divisional round exit. Let's move into the offseason. And the Niners beat the Browns in the Super Bowl. Javon Bullard out of, I don't know why I was saying out of. His college obviously doesn't appear, but he's a free safety for the San Francisco 49ers. It's not Hufanga. He wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott League MVP. Sure, dude. And no, really, no defensive rookie of the year for my strong safety. That's upsetting, but it's fine. In the NFC North, Harrison Smith does retire. For the team upgrades, Sam Darnold has superstar dev. Please tell me he has the franchise QB tag after getting superstar dev, please. How? How is he not a franchise QB after having superstar dev? That doesn't make any sense. That's super, super lame. And then Justin Jefferson is 101 overall with the extra 2 XP points. And then no other upgrades here on offense. Defensively, what do we got? Towns goes up to star dev. That's nice. Middleton is already a star dev. And there's no other upgrades on this team. Surprisingly, Jonathan Grenard doesn't get superstar dev. If you want to cry in the comments, you can. I'm sure like there's always like a couple people who are just like, nah, you're cheating. I don't care. I'm giving him superstar dev. He had 12 sacks. He had a nice season with the team, and he's already starting regression anyway, so it's kind of balancing it out. So, anyways, this is what we got for the team. Another divisional round exit once again. Sam Darnold is a superstar dev, but of course Justin Jefferson will be like, he's not our franchise QB because the game says so. Anyways, let's move into the re-signing. Justin Jefferson has interest now. Actually, oh no, team has franchise QB. For some reason, he didn't have the tag before. I still got to pay him $30 million a year, which is more than what I'm paying Sam Darnold. But hey, he's got to come back to the team. It's not like I can like neglect his contract. He's 101 overall with his XP points. Obviously, that's not a thing in Madden. Obviously caps out at 99, but we're just going to give him this contract, and he re-signs with the team. Jordan Addison, I'll accept his option. Jonathan Grenard, I do want back on the team, so I think I'm just going to overpay for this and just keep him for the rest of the rebuild. If he continues to put up 12 sacks a season, that's great. He re-signs as our long-term defensive end despite his age. Harrison Phillips, I think I'm just going to replace because I don't want to pay him, what? It's like $16 million a year? It's now 13 still. I don't want him. Lewis Scene's just a bust. Blake Cashman, I do want back. My previous offer wasn't the best. I'll do a 2-year contract with him. I know he's not the best overall, and I know he's 30, but he's still not bad for us. Garrett Bradbury, I'm just going to replace. Second string strong safety. This is cheap, and it's not really the cheapest thing, but honestly, I'll just keep him as depth since I did lose Harrison Smith, which I was kind of looking forward to re-signing, even if he did go to a low overall, because I know he would get a cheap contract. Then Ed Ingram here, $6 million a year, or draft a new right guard. I think I'm just going to draft a new right guard. Then everyone else here, I'm just not interested in. Let's move in to the free agency period. After free agency, I offered on 6 different people. Only one of them signed with the team, even though I had the highest offer with the most interest on 6 different people. But anyways, Corey Linsley here on a 1-year contract for us. In the first round, I need a defensive tackle to replace Harrison Phillips. Deron Allen out of Boston College, 6'4", 6'4", 300 pounds, 86 strength, 83 jumping, 80 acceleration, hidden dev, A play rec, B finesse moves, B power moves, B tackle. He seems very balanced, and he will play behind Byron Murphy. In this second round, getting right guard Devin Copeland out of LSU, 6'5", 306, hidden dev, not very athletic, but 87 strength, B injury, B run block, A impact blocking, A pass block power with pass protector archetype. Year number 3 with the team. The offensive line still looks good despite us losing our center and our right guard last season. Sam Darnold, even though he's a 78, he has superstar dev, and that actually does affect Madden simulation. The dev seems like, oh, it's just more XP. No, it actually does increase things. Did he actually regress? No, he just lost some morale sometimes, but he hasn't actually started a regression as a QB in Madden yet. And of course, Justin Jefferson, he's 102 overall now. And then defensively, Allen is a 71 overall. Apparently, this AI picked up this guy named Sutton, because I definitely did draft him. Guy named Knight as well. Team looks pretty good. Towns is only a 70 overall. I mean, without the boost, he's a 69. Nice. And apart from that, defense still looks good. It's an 86 overall team. I just need to get past the divisional round, which is harder than you think in Madden. Aaron Jones has regressed even further, so I don't even know if we're going to be able to make the playoffs, because that's how much running backs actually matter in simulation. I don't know why in Madden. They just don't ever fix it for some reason. But anyways, also, like, if I try to trade Aaron Jones away, I'm sure I can trade him away for a second-round pick, an 80 overall, who's like 31 years old. Yeah. In real life, Aaron Jones would be traded away for like a 6th-round pick if he was 31 years old and 80 overall. But anyways, let's move in to the midseason mark for year number 3. 2-5, third in division, because my running back sucks, and that means my defense suddenly sucks as well. That's literally how Madden simulation works. If your running back and quarterback blows, your entire team just sucks as well. Like, some of you guys may be like, oh, Vic, that doesn't make any sense. I'm fully aware. That's just how Madden works. Anytime my running back is like a low overall, below an 85 overall, the rest of my team just sucks for no reason. Why does my defense suddenly suck? I had Harrison Smith retired, and he was a second-string strong safety for me. I replaced Harrison Phillips, and then I still have 2 great defensive ends. Why does my team suddenly suck? Why does my defense suddenly suck? There's no real explanation behind it. It's just EA going, because we said so. So I guess I'm scouting defensive back again, because my team just sucks in every category. For the re-signings, DJ Reed, I mean, my defense sucks, so I guess it really doesn't matter whether or not I sign you, or I do or don't. Either way, he re-signs another 2-year deal for our final season up and coming. Then I gotta pay my right tackle $25 million. What right tackle is getting paid $25 million? My God. Anyways, he resigns. I guess I have to do it, and now I have no money. I just didn't account for that. My bad. Everyone else here, like, I mean, Aaron Jones, I'm sure he's going to have terrible stats at the end of the year. Mekhi Blackman, I do want back, actually, because he's an 80 overall, and this is a relatively cheap contract. He resigns. I have next to no money left here. And then Corey Linsley, I'm not even going to be able to resign. Byron Murphy and Cooper, I will just accept their options. But for now, $2.3 million, and our team absolutely blows. Let's move into the playoff. All right, I guess I have to bite my tongue. We're 11-6 somehow. Oh, Vic, you're just being mad for no reason. Absolutely. Why? Why is my team good now? It's not even good. My offense is mid, my defense is mid, and I'm 11-6 all of a sudden, and I'm still coming off a loss. How did I get here? That doesn't make any sense. I literally had a drum roll in my tongue there. I sounded like Jinxie. What is that? Sam Darnold is evidently a top 4 quarterback in the league. 4th best offense as well. Mid defense. But Sam Darnold, 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 119 pass rating. You know, the moral of the story here is just, I need to stop sleeping on Darnold. Evidently, he's just a non-stop baller. It doesn't matter if he's 2-5, if he's 0-100, he's always going to come back, other than in real life, of course. And then rushing-wise, Aaron Jones, 1,000 yards. Obviously, he's just terrible now because Madden said so, despite him being an X factor, but he's awful now. And then, I mean, it's like not like the world's worst season, but like 3.6 per carry for an X factor. Like, it's not really ideal, of course. Then Justin Jefferson, 104 receptions, 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, amazing year. Javon Baker, 15 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, 76 receptions. With 15 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, that definitely deserves superstar. Jordan Addison, 4 touchdowns, 900 yards. TJ Hawkinson, underwhelming for a 95 overall superstar X factor, but I guess it will do. Defensively, Ivan Pace with 118 tackles for a loss, 19 for Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel with 14.5 sacks, Byron Murphy II, or aka Junior, who's a defensive tackle, with 11.5 sacks, 8 for Jonathan Grenard, 4 for Brian Barton, and then interceptions, only a total of 3 throughout the entire team. All right, and then safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. Can Sam Darnold beat the New York Giants mid-battling mid? Danny Dimes versus Sam Darnold, and mid does not beat mid as we continue to not be able to progress in the playoffs. Let's move into the 4th and final year. And the Denver Broncos win the Super Bowl over the New Orleans Saints. Patrick Surtain wins the Super Bowl MVP. Crazy how the two teams with the worst cap situation in real life win the Super Bowl in 2026. Evidently, it works out for them. Joe Burrow wins the league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Vikings. In the NFC North, nobody retires. For the team upgrades, Sam Darnold is a superstar X Factor, but he's an 80 overall. You know, it's like, oh, Vikk, you're always just going to be so negative. You're damn right I'm always going to be negative. Make this make sense. Why is my quarterback, like, have you ever named me an NFL quarterback or any player in Madden that has received superstar X Factor and is an 80 overall? I've seen Russell Wilson be like a 75 overall with an X Factor in Madden because Madden never updated their games, but I've never seen them like start a game or start a season and be like, yeah, you got X Factor, but the best we can do is a 80 overall. Sure, they may do that with like some rookies. My boy is 30 years old. Please give him more than just 1 XP point for getting X Factor. That, like, you should be at least an 88 overall. At least an 88 overall, like, be boosted because you have X Factor. Like, I know it's like, I don't want to complain that he has an X Factor. I'm just complaining that the fact that he's literally thriving off of boosters from his team, from the franchise staff points. He can't even progress through Madden because they're like, you had a really good season. The best we can do is 1 XP point. Aaron Jones is just total doo-doo now. So Allen, I guess we're going to start over him if he will move out of the way from fullback. Javon Baker, again, if you want to cry in the comments for like, oh, you're cheating. Like, no, don't release him. But if you guys want to be like, oh, Vikk, you're cheating. And for those guys wondering, oh, where do you get these negative comments? I don't. I'm fighting invisible comments. I'm fighting myself 90% of the time. But Javon Baker, he is superstar dev because he had 15 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. Justin Jefferson proceeds to be 103 overall. O-line still looks good. Defensively, any other upgrades here? Allen has star dev and everyone else looks the exact same. So let's move into the re-signings just for us to inevitably lose in the wild card next year. For the players ready to negotiate, I'll accept the option on Byron Murphy and my left guard. Is that Cooper Beebe or Bebe? I don't know. Either way, Aaron Jones, I'm not going to re-sign. Everyone else here, I'm not going to re-sign. Actually, I want Corey Linsley. Might as well just have him for the 4th and final year. Going to give him a little bit extra money. I have $18 million to spend, and honestly, I'm going to skip out on free agency just that way I can trade away my draft pick and go, like, trade for a baller. So let me go do that real quick. So I'm completely overpaying for a safety because it's the 4th and final year, and it's my rebuild. So 2 first-round picks and a this year's second-round pick for free safety Anton Winfield Jr., just because every player is completely overvalued in Madden, and some players get traded away for a 6th-round pick for no reason. But anyways, apart from that, let's move in to actually the next season. I'm actually just going to skip out on the draft because now that I don't have a 1st or a 2nd round pick, I could care less. Now, this is the team moving into the 4th and final year. Sam Darnold, even though he's an 80 overall, he is a superstar X Factor. Of course, I complained about that before. He is of course, 30-year-old QB, but it doesn't matter because of the X Factor, baby. Allen, this is going to be his 1st year starting since we don't have Aaron Jones anymore. And I will hop into a divisional round game if we even do make the playoffs this year. I doubt we will because it's Madden simulation. Then Anton Winfield Jr., the new free safety for us just because I can. And then everyone else here, it looks like the AI picked up this guy named Cruz. But apart from that, 4th and final year with Daddy Sam Darnold going from a normal dev to a superstar X Factor. So it's nice progression for him to help revive his career. But for now, 4th and final year, let's move into the playoffs. And we make the playoffs coming off a loss to the Lions, and the rest of our division continues to suck, when in real life this division would basically be reversed. I think the Lions are going to take the division, or even the Packers. I mean, the Bears have a really nice offensive roster, especially something to build around with Caleb Williams. I think the Vikings are going to be at the bottom of the division. But anyways, we're in year 2027 with Daddy Sam Darnold, and Caleb Williams is actually on the Commanders in this simulation because for some reason the Bears always decide to pass on them for some reason. But anyways, Caleb Williams is a 98 overall superstar X Factor. As you see, my superstar X Factor is an 80 overall. Yes, I'm just going to continue to complain about that. But for now, let's look at the stats. Stats and awards, Sam Darnold, it looks like a top 5 QB. Another great season from him. 13th best offense, 12th best defense, 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 105 pass rating. Honestly, out of the entire simulation, this is probably his worst season, but it's definitely not bad from Sam Darnold. And then Braylon Allen, 18 touchdowns, 4.0 per carry. I guess I should have been starting you from the beginning. My God, what a great season from him, especially as a first year as a starter. Justin Jefferson continues just to be Justin Jefferson, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. Jordan Addison finally giving me a 1,000-yard season, actually 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Javon Baker, 3 touchdowns, 700 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 700 yards and only 4 touchdowns. Defensively, Ivan Pace Jr. with 123 tackles for a loss, 18 for Byron Murphy, sacks, 12.5 for Andrew Van Ginkel. He's actually been surprisingly great for us throughout this entire but I think he's underrated in real life, but I didn't think a guy who was aging out and was already 29 years old was going to be this efficient for this team. 6.5 sacks for Jonathan Grenard, 1.5 for Brian Barton, interceptions 2 for DJ Reed. Safety zone team is 0, defensive touchdowns is 0. Now, I never play wildcard rounds on this channel. It's just how it is, but I will play in the divisional if we do somehow win, and we do. 14-10, not very high scoring game. Probably going to lose to the Eagles and be another divisional round exit, but it's the 4th and final year, so I will hop into this considering we haven't won a divisional round game yet. We're both a 90 overall team. Here we are against the Eagles. We have the ball starting out 7-0 against the Eagles. I believe the Eagles started with the ball as well. 14-0, 14-7 here. 21-7. Nice offensive start for this team, already scoring more points than the previous game just in the first half. Defense is holding strong. Offense puts another 7 on the board. Eagles respond, and they're not going to respond anymore, as that's going to be the game. 14-20 as we're finally progressing to the conference championship. Daddy Darnold out here with 4 offensive touchdowns. Yes, our savior here. 144 pass rating, 250 yards almost, and 4 passing touchdowns. Amazing game from Daddy Darnold. Let's move into the conference championship. I can't believe it's taken me this long to say this in the video. I just haven't recorded a video in so long. I mean, it's only been like 4 days, but to me, it's quite a while because I usually do daily uploads, or I upload every other day. But if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure you like and or subscribe. And of course, if you made it this far in the video, you already know you like the video, so make sure you just drop it down below, as the Saints apparently have Brock Bowers, and we have to face them 12-5 in the conference championship. Hopefully the Minnesota Vikings can produce another Minnesota miracle here, but this time in the conference championship against the New Orleans Saints. Here we are against the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. Well, Saints, here we are to do it again. We get the first points on the board here, 7-3 against the Saints, 10-3, and 17-3 at halftime. We open up the half as well, but it's going to be a punt to start. 17-3. Defense is holding strong once again. 24-10 here. 24-17. Just hold the ball and run it. Thank you, AI, for properly winning us this game. Once again, defeating the Saints here, as the Saints picked Michael Penix for their future QB. And I guess they just passed on Derek Carr. But anyways, the team 24-17 win against the Saints, as Sam Darnold is moving on to the Super Bowl. Can the Minnesota Vikings end their Super Bowl losing streak and win their first ever Super Bowl win here with Daddy Sam Darnold, as he's an 81 overall without the boost? He got 1 XP point throughout this entire year after being an X Factor. All right, game. And Justin Jefferson is 104 overall now. Allen's an 84 overall. No upgrades on the team, though. And then defensively, any upgrades that I can see of? No, not really. Andrew Van Ginkel's up to a 91 with the boost. Looks pretty good. 90 overall team. Can we beat the Baltimore Ravens to cap off on this rebuild with a Sam Darnold win? And I'm actually surprised that we made it this far. I didn't think we would really ever get past the divisional round, but here we are. I honestly thought the team would only make it to the playoffs 1 year out of these 4 years of simulations, but they made it all 4 years. So let's see if we can beat the 91 overall Ravens to get the Minnesota Vikings their first ever Super Bowl win. Here we are against the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to open up with 7. We're going to respond with nothing. They're going to put another 3 on the board. We're doing nothing offensively, unlike our previous 2 games. 20-0, 20-7 here, 26-7. I mean, it's the Ravens, but I hope we can come back. It's 33-14, 21-33. I think that's going to be game. Unfortunate for the Minnesota Vikings, as they are now 0-5 in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's the Ravens. They're really good in simulation, but being that close to winning it all with Daddy Darnold, bro, very upsetting. 91 overall pass rating. Lamar is just undefeated here. 260 yards, 3 passing touchdowns to no interceptions, 152 pass rating. Almost a flawless game from him. Sam Darnold, not amazing, but definitely not horrible here. Actually, pretty whatever, I guess. And then for the rushing wise, Allen only 3.7 per carry. Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson both having nice games per usual, but that will be it. And Lamar Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott wins the league MVP. There are no awards here for the Vikings as Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold hand the Vikings their 5th Super Bowl loss. Unfortunately, that's where I'm going to end out the video. I don't think our team's going to get much better than this. It's unfortunate that we just had to lose right there, but it's surprising. Honestly, I'm really surprised with how far we got with Sam Darnold in simulation. Obviously, this won't happen for you guys in real life Vikings fans, but hey, we can imagine. That's why we're here watching these videos. But I thank you guys all for the recent support on my channel, despite me having recording issues. It's really, really irritating. I even bought a whole new Xbox to try and counteract this, and it did nothing. It literally did nothing. So I'm thinking it's an account issue, but it's like I'm trying to record videos through an external hard drive, and it just won't work. I even changed the hard drive. But anyways, you guys don't want to hear about my problems. Nobody really gives a shit. But apart from that, guys, I thank you guys all once again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.